Hey, Ari here, leader of the race mixing revolution. I wanted to make this video to talk about a little thing called eugenics. Eugenics is the field of science dedicated to studying races. It's a field of science. So we got to ask ourselves, what does science do for us? If this is something that science is now applied to. Science is applied to a lot of things that kind of make sense to us now. But even in the past, there was a time when people didn't really think science needed to be applied to things like physics or chemistry and whatnot. For the longest time, we didn't even know we had to wash our hands, things like that. And so science is always evolving, is the point I'm trying to make with that. Science is evolving. Eugenics also needs to evolve. There was once a time when eugenics was this thing that people came up with to say that races needed to be separated. Our race is like this and your race is like that. And because of differences we can point at with science, we can say put some of them here and put some of them there. The Nazis developed eugenics. There was a lot of places in Europe where a lot of refugees and foreigners, immigrants, slaves, many different things were being taken in and cultures were mixing. It was a very interesting time about 100 years ago, within the last 100 years. And we're at a point in history now where we have the opportunity to redefine eugenics. That's my goal. Redefine eugenics. What does that mean? Maybe we can have a better word for the field so that we can kind of move away from this older idea. Or redefine the word. Have it be an idea of positivity. Have it be something that is associated with the race mixing revolution, but is also a very formal, legitimate field of science. It's not something political. It's not something this or that. There are certain aspects of it and certain people involved with eugenics, obviously, I hope that will be a part of the race mixing revolution, but it's not something that is necessarily so. And this is what is so important about science, to respect science and to say that science has its place outside of all the rest of society if need be. That is the sanctity of science. Do you understand the sanctity of science? It's a very, very sacred thing. It's a very, very holy thing. It's a thing that needs to be preserved. It's something that needs to be fostered and it needs to be supported and needs to have what it needs to grow. And to compromise science is a great sin. In our age, especially our age, is kind of like the religious age of science. We look at science like a religion. And so let's do it right. Whatever we do with eugenics, let's just do it right. Let's make sure that it's legitimate. Let's make sure that's reasonable. Let's make sure that's positive. What is the philosophy behind science? Why do we have science? It's really to do things that make the world better. To give us a piece of knowledge that helps us do something. To help give us a piece of information that helps us build something. Or just do something a little bit better. Give us a piece of knowledge so that when something comes up, we can point to that piece of knowledge and say, this is what needs to happen. Science gives us these things and many more. And eugenics is a field that is very strange because it's kind of like a social field to say that we're races or whatever else. It's kind of a biological field. It's complicated. It's a very complicated field. And I'm going to be looking to work with people in the future to refine it, to redefine it, to make it better, to give you, people viewing this video, and people many years into the future, some feeling of confidence, knowing that we have some scientific proof, some scientific evidence, some scientific knowledge that we can point at and say, this is a reason to mix race. This is a good reason to mix race. There's a lot of reasons some people will say, I'm not going to get too deep into it now, and I need to do more research about it. But people will say that mixing races and creating a higher variance for genes is always a good thing. It's something that because of our ability to adapt and our need to adapt, that we need to mix and we need to redefine our genes and increase our variability and increase our positive attributes. How do we do that? How do we increase our positive attributes? That's always been a question of mine too. And that's a question that I think eugenics will have an answer for, but we also need to have a personal answer for that as well. We need to have a personal sense of this idea for eugenics and this idea of making the races better. Because everybody would like to make the races better, the human race better. So let's just focus on that. Let's take all the negative things that have happened in the past with eugenics, and let's take the negative and turn it into something positive. If we can do something as good as the Nazis were bad, think about how good that would be. That would be really good, because that was really bad. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned a little bit about my own feelings on eugenics and maybe thought a little bit about science. Feel free to question science a little bit more. Science is there for us. We're not there for it, just like government or anything else. So take time to question science. If you know anybody that is interested in eugenics and these kind of things, talk with them. Feel free to ask some of these similar questions. Get them to think a little bit more philosophically. Get them out of maybe their fixations and these kind of things, and free them up a little bit so that they can get back to where they were at, but with a little more confidence than when they started. That's why we talk. That's why I like to make these videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I got a lot more videos coming out in the future. Please share my video, copy the link, send it to some people, share it on social media. Please support me on Patreon. As little as $1 a month, you can help me in these very critical early phases of the revolution, help me build it from the ground up. Please remember my words and take them with you into the future. And thanks for watching again. I'll see you next time.